Howdy, howdy, happy Monday, and let's review some comic books. This is everything I read this week. Did not go through any trades because I spent some time catching up on some facsimiles and had some really good books. And of course, indies won the week. You'll see the last three, my top three books of the week were all indies. So let's go through this. We'll start with some facsimiles. We'll go into my Marvel reads, my DC reads, and of course the indie reads. So we've got Yaira protecting us over here, I hope, and Junkyard Joe reporting for duty, and let's jump into it. Starting with the facsimiles, I read Fantastic Four facsimile number 6. This one was really interesting. I like the Dr. Doom manipulation of it. The art is just so good. I almost wish this was printed on newsprint. I think it would the colors would really pop there, ironically. But yeah, Namor being manipulated by Dr. Doom. We got a little bit of Sue Storm simping for Namor, which don't really care for. Not sure where they were going with that. I haven't read beyond this, so not sure where they do go with that. But I know there's a lot of fan theory, headcanon garbage out there about Sue Storm and Namor hooking up, and I think that's dumb, and that's probably coming from what started here. So, but that was the only negative. I really enjoyed it. It is kind of campy. Dr. Doom gets the fantastic building, the Baxter building, up in space, and they have to try to rescue it. So it was pretty campy, but I think the good kind of campy. I also love the facsimiles. The reason why I get the facsimiles is because I like the floppy format, but also I like to read the original ads that came in it, and it really is the original format. So I like to read the ads. I get some inspiration there, but I also like, my favorite part is the letters to the editor. And you've got, they actually included negative reviews. So here's one, they didn't like what they did. And he's like, hey, it doesn't take much courage to print a letter, because the person, Marlene, said, I'll bet you don't dare print this. So very interesting. Also, several of the letters to the editors were by women. So, I know they're saying that Marvel, has always been male dominated, but, not always, because I think there's actually 2 letters in here by women. So yeah, Fantastic Four number 6, I thought it was really good. The series continues to get better. You can really tell the iterations that they do to get better every issue. And I think they came out every other month back then. So, going from here to the next one that I'm going to show you, you can tell that they really found their footing. And apparently this was a breath of fresh air, because a lot of the letters to the editors were saying that, this is really a family dynamic. They don't get along, they bicker, they have real human emotions. And I think this is when, Marvel really figured out, we want heroes that are humans with the powers of gods, not like DC where it's like gods trying to fit in with humans. So I think that's really cool. And it really does get better as we get into the other facsimile, Fantastic Four facsimile that I read, which is the Galactus arc. So this is issue 2 of the Galactus arc. And this is, I believe I read that it's the first multi-arc story. So I think that's pretty cool how they did this. And it does have a little bit of a beginning, middle, and end, but it gives you just enough that you get a full story, but also you're kind of like, man, I can't wait till the next issue. And I'm not sure if they went back to monthly, or not back to monthly. I'm not sure if they went monthly with this or if they were still every other month. But yeah, again, the art is just fantastic. Galactus is menacing. Silver Surfer crashes into Alicia's house, and she helps him find his humanity, so to speak. But yeah, it's just, there's a lot here. There is a lot here. I mean, if this was a modern day mag, you could probably read it in 15 minutes, but this one, it takes you 30, because you just got to sit there and just adore that Kirby art. And there's the what do you call it? Galactus's World Eater machine. I mean, that's just so cool to think of that. And then I also didn't know this. The Watcher sends Johnny like extra dimensionally. I'm guessing he's going to go get the Ultimate Nullifier. I think this is when the Ultimate Nullifier is introduced. And so to see like the extra dimensional stuff that the Watcher sends Johnny to is really, really cool. So yeah, like that. He's like going through extra dimensions, but don't touch the extra dimensions. And he's going like to infinite. It's just a wild, what a trip for back then. So I really enjoyed this one. This is definitely, and the writing's tighter, the team dynamics are tighter. I think Sue looks better without that updo that she has in the original issues, that do. I think she looks better here and with her hair down. And of course, the rest of the team is just looking amazing. Not a facsimile, but a reprint, so to speak. If you go to your local comic book shop, you get little bonuses like this. This is Marvel must-haves. This is basically a collection of issues that are running right now that they want to give you an introduction to. So think about it like, when we were growing up, maybe they still do it, when HBO would have a free weekend or Stars, and you could watch all the shows that weekend on HBO for free on cable. And of course, during that time, they were often doing like the first episodes or the first 3 episodes, or they'd have a marathon to try to get you hooked into the shows. So then you subscribe so you can see what happens to Tony and The Sopranos or whatever. So this is kind of the same idea. So this one has Fantastic Four number 575, which is a Hickman Fantastic Four. And this is to promote the new Premiere Collection, where you can get all of Hickman's Fantastic Four and a $15 book, which is just great value. They give you Wolverine's Revenge number 1, which I'm surprised, but I guess it's Hickman, so they want to promote him. And then you get Storm number 1, and that's really the reason I picked this up. Even though it's free, I'm not going to pick it up if I don't want to read it. But I hear good things about the Storm, so I wanted to check it out for the Storm. But I reread the Hickman Fantastic Four. It's look at that art there of Mole Man. It was interesting the way that it comes up, and it's a good one-shot story that fits into the arc, and that's what and then you what happened to Galactus? Oh, it's Galactus from the future. This is what I'm talking about. Like, there's a greater arc, but each issue could stand on its own, and that's exactly what this was. So they got to help Mole Man get his city back from High Evolutionary or something like that. The mole people get too smart for their own, not for their own good, but they get smarter. I didn't even read Wolverine's Revenge. I read it. I have it. Been there, done that. And then I read the Storm number 1. Interesting introduction. The art is really cool. I do hear she gets a little overpowered, and so on the last page you can see kind of maybe where that's going. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. It kind of definitely got me thinking of, man, I would like to possibly get the trade of this. And then she has to make that decision. I think this is really good. A mutant ends up causing a nuclear meltdown. And so the public believe that it's the neglect of the nuclear facility, like the nuclear staff, not the mutant person. And she has to make the decision. Do I tell the truth and risk all the goodwill that we've built up for mutants? Or do I let the public believe the lie that it wasn't mutants, it was just neglect? And I thought that was a very interesting take. And because of that, she gets the attention of eternity. So yeah, that was interesting. So I think it did its job, because I might get Storm number 1 if I see it. I'm not going to go out looking for it, but if I see it, I'll be like, oh, yeah, that's interesting. Or maybe a day where they have trades on sale at my LCS, I might get it. Batman number 9. This one surprised me. I got this. It was a thick book, and in one of my most recent videos, I'll put a link up here, I did mention that I might be done with the Batman facsimiles, because it was only one Batman story, and then 2/3 of the book was not Batman. But this one actually had 4 Batman stories. And let me tell you, for $7, you're basically getting an afternoon's of reading, because this is like 4 individual stories, but it's as thick as a trade. And the 4 stories, I put a quick review on my Twitter. I like the first one. It's kind of a little supernatural. They kill a psychic, and the psychic predicts the villain's deaths. And of course, they have to try to avoid it as they get picked off one by one, exactly the way the psychic predicted it. The second one was a little campy. You got Batman trying to go help an insurance company find a white whale that's sinking ships. That one was, it was okay. It was a little too campy for me. Pretty good little Joker story here. Joker is helping newly released prisoners get money in their accounts, but he rigs lotteries and other gambling things to help them win, so they have an excuse for having the money after they rob banks. It's pretty interesting little story. I do like the last story. Batman and Robin helps. They go to an orphanage, and a boy says that his dad was wrongfully accused, and so for Christmas, Batman tries to get the man out of jail. And it's a little campy in the way he does it, but again, this was a very enjoyable read. I was very surprised. I expected to sit down with this for 15 minutes. I think I spent a whole hour with it on a Sunday afternoon, which was not bad. So this was a great look. And again, the newspaper, the coloring on the newspaper just looks so much better, I think. And maybe that's just personal taste. Maybe not everyone's like that, but I wish we had more newsprint options like this. I think that'd be really cool. Let's see, 3 more here of facsimiles. Batman Ghosts. I didn't care for this one. This is basically Christmas Carol, but on Halloween. The art's good. The Tim Sale art's good. It's still got some good panels, but it was a little meh. My favorite part was the Joker. I love Tim Sale's Joker. I know not many people like it because he's all toothy like that, but I like that. That's crazy. So not much to say here. It's Bruce Wayne gets visited by the spirits to figure out that he has to leave a legacy of Bruce Wayne, not just Batman. So I thought it was a little forced. Like, it was a good idea, but maybe they were just pushed to make it happen. I believe this is the last of the facsimiles of the Legends of Halloween. But yeah, that was okay. I really enjoyed adventure comics here with Crypto. Crypto's first appearance, man, he was, if you ever rescued a dog, you know exactly, I mean, you relate with this even more. It was so funny. I mean, just what happens when a dog gets into hijinks, but the dog is super powered. So he like rips a wing off a plane, and he gets a metal girder out of a construction site. I think it's really well done. And unfortunately, you know, he treats the universe like his backyard. And so Superboy doesn't even know if he's ever going to see his dog again. I thought that was cool. The Aquaman story was also interesting, but there's a misprint. I don't know if it's just in the facsimile or if it's due to if it was actually this way in the original. But you're reading an Aquaman story and then you're missing a page. It's a duplicate of the Green Arrow story. So I was like, what the heck just happened? So you see Aquaman, he basically creates an underground newspaper, or excuse me, underwater newspaper, because the newspaper that the seamen use gets destroyed. So it seems interesting. He's putting together this newspaper print. He's using a clam as the press, and he's using, of course, squid ink as the ink. But then it jumps to this Green Arrow page, and you're like, what just happened? And then you jump to the last page of the Aquaman story. So you don't, it's so weird. It's a misprint. But I don't know if it's in the original or if it's just with the facsimile. But then the last Green Arrow story was pretty good too. Little golden age, what is it? A nice coincidence the way that it wraps up. But yeah, I like the Green Arrow story as well. Basically a guy figures out how his arrows work and then find his weaknesses, and then they do escapades taking advantage of Green Arrow's weaknesses. Like, for example, he can't shoot an arrow above a crowd, or he can't handcuff them to steel. So he makes wood, he paints steel to look like wood, so that way Green Arrow thinks he can handcuff them, but he can't. So yeah, so again, and then the facsimile, you get the good old ads. They also added free tickets that you can win, like a golden ticket, but on the first page here, you know, didn't win. Wasn't expecting to. But I think they were free, because I remember I requested to pull it, but because of the ticket thing, I think they were making it free. I'm not sure. So go check out your local comic shop. Maybe you get a free ticket to Superman. And then my favorite facsimile I read, and then we'll finally get into this week's pulls, was Batman Madness. This is another legend. I think this is another Legend of the Dark Knight. It might just be called Halloween Special, but it's another Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale. The art here really shines on the newspaper print, because you get this beautiful art here. And it's flatter, which I like. I don't like it shiny glossy. Like, I imagine reading this page on the new shiny glossy print, it just wouldn't be as bad, if that makes sense. But yeah, so Mad Hatter, he's often a joke character, I think, but in this one, he's actually pretty intimidating, and he kidnaps Babs, Gordon's daughter. He also gets Batman shot, and it's just very interesting. And we get another little peek at Batman reliving his parents' murder, but there's a little add-on on there that was, I thought, intriguing enough. So yeah, just a really good book. I highly recommend this one. If you want to read a good classic Batman story that's just a one-shot, they reprinted it as Batman Madness, but I think, okay, yeah, it is a Legends of the Dark Knight Halloween Special. I think this is number 2. But this one was really good. I really enjoyed this one. So that was a lot of fun, and it looks good, and it's nice and thick. And yeah, for, I mean, $7, you get another great afternoon read, and the art is just gorgeous. There was another panel here I'm going to show you real quick. This is my panel of the week here. Panel of the week. And we're going to find it. Here we go. Batman, through the looking glass, takes down Mad Hatter. Thought that was so cool. I like that. I like that panel here. All right, so let's go into my Marvel reads. And we won't spend as much time on these, I don't think. Wolverine, Kitty Pryde, this one had some really good action. I still don't understand the character or the time that's going on, but I enjoyed it. The art I don't know if it's growing on me. I would say more I'm getting used to it. But yeah, it was a good story. Very interesting the way it kind of ended and where it's going. What is that? Right? Like Kitty Pryde and Trask daughter, they get merged into like a sentinel, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? So that'll be interesting to read. The final Spider Boy. Oh boy, the final Spider Boy. At least at this run. Very sad that this has to die so Superman Unlimited can live, because I much prefer this one. We finally get to see the fallout of what happens when Spider Boy gets the League of Shadows. What are they called? He gets the ninjas at his disposal, and then he's like basically using them as errand boys, and Daredevil's like, that's not gonna work. They're eventually gonna turn on you because they're trained killers. And Spider-Boy's like, yeah, okay, fine. Here you go, like the Maw, there we go. One day you'll go too far and we'll snap and devour you. And Spider-Boy's like, oh, okay. So he's got to get rid of him. And he basically gets put, not into retirement, but he's sidelined. I think he's coming back in another like New Avengers or Young Avengers, something or other. But I enjoyed it. This is obviously for more young adults, but it was just good escapades. Pretty cool little cover here. Everyone kind of cheering on Spider-Boy in the background. So I thought that was pretty good. Ultimate Spider-Man number 18. I'm not going to open this up here, but the art, actually, no, I am going to open it up because you need it. I kept it in the plastic because it's the ratio variant. So I'll be a little more careful here. But the art here is gorgeous. I know people don't like MJ being the supportive wife for some stupid reason, but I think it's a good reprieve. She's been Jackpot, now she's Venom. Like, let her be the supportive role of Peter, and I like that. I think that's really good. And then if you want a girl boss, and I think not in a bad way, you got Gwen here. She's like kind of running the show with the Mysterios, which is really cool. Love this paneling here by Chiquetto, and the Spider-Man action is really good. Spider-Man action in about a third of the book. You get hilarious hijinks with Doc Ock living in his house, and yeah, I thought it was really good. I know I say that because I'm not a reviewer. And then you get an interesting twist finale here at the end, a little Scorpion and the Frog callback here. But yeah, I think it's interesting where they're going. I think young Richard Parker has a lesson to learn in the next issue. So this was definitely one of the better Ultimate Spider-Man issues and a very enjoyable read. But I didn't enjoy it as much as these other two. We've got The Thing, Tony Fleece writing this one, and really good just action. The Thing being the Thing, taking it to Bullseye. I thought that was a lot of fun to see, and Kingpin's kind of like running the show, and the Thing's trying to figure out, who hired Bullseye. So we've got some interesting turnarounds here. And then you've got, what's his name, Hammerhead? You got him pulling up as part of like kind of running the show here. The Thing is like slowly moving up the ladder of the criminal ladder to figure out who took his childhood bully's daughter. So I thought that was interesting. And then my favorite read of the week was actually Fantastic Four. I got the Saturday morning variant because, I like words on covers. And I think, is it exactly what I was expecting? No, but I still enjoyed it. It wraps up the story, but I'm more focused on what Valeria, her story arc in this. And then you also get some just lovely, like Herbie trying to be a part of the family. He's happy to assist, and he gets a very nice little arc in here too. They go back to the Big Bang to try to harvest cosmic powers for Ben, and then of course things go wrong, and it's actually Herbie that has to save the day. And of course you get a little cheesy moment because Herbie's like, I'm going to save my family and save the world because I'm a good boy kind of thing. It was adorable. So that was my favorite read. Good job, Herbie. They're renumbering it, unfortunately. I guess that's just the Marvel way now. I wish we could continue because it's like nice to have the continued long run. People say like, people want to jump in on number ones, but also people want to just have a long run to be able to say like, I have all the issues. I think it's fun that way, but teach their own. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. I'm one of the few that seem to be reading and enjoying Fantastic Four. So I hope more people will jump on and start to enjoy that with me. So I'm gonna take a sip of coffee here, and then we're gonna go into DC, starting with the one I didn't really care for. And that is Superman number 27. So this one, I did not care for the art. I think we had an art switch. Dan Mora's off of it. Was Dan Mora on this one? Now I'm second guessing myself. But don't like the android. I think they look like if an AI bot or an android tried to be human. Not liking the art. And I'm not liking the arc wrap up here too, because you had so many good things. You had Dr. Farm and Graft coming out. You've got Marilyn Midnight coming out. Lex and hands off the organization to Mercy. And it seems like this should have been another 6 issues, but DC told Williamson to wrap it up because they want to get to that end of the year event. And this just took, this ended. I mean, you talk about whiplash, this just ended. It didn't even like end on too quickly. It literally just ended. And I did not like that. All these side plots wrapping up all at once. Did not care for it. And then you get the teaser, the epilogue of what's going on at the end of time with the Ultimate Universe folks. I'm still not exactly sure who these people are, but they're going up against Time Trapper / Doomsday. I don't know. This was just a mess. This was my least favorite read of the week. I think I even gave it a 2.5 star because it's barely serviceable, maybe 2 stars. It just wrapped up way too quickly. And in fact, Dr. Farm and Graft here, you have them covered. They're only in the book for like 2 pages. Like, just what are you doing, guys? What? I hope that wasn't Williamson's original plan because it was not very good. This one is very controversial here. History of the DC. I'm going to go ahead and keep this in here. But basically, this is a Comics Explained video illustrated. They go through the beginning of the DC universe all the way to where Superman comes up. There were some pages in there that I really enjoyed. We had the Western call out of the Western heroes and all the classic heroes before World War I. And it was fine, but I can understand that if you're a longtime fan, you didn't like it because they are really rewriting some things to clarify. As someone who's new to DC, I've only been reading DC for about the past year. And then of course the back trades that you see me read on the channel, I don't know all this stuff. So for me, I enjoyed it. I liked having that. I like those Comics Explained videos, and to see it drawn out, I thought it was pretty cool. So I liked it, but again, I understand that not many people do. Green Lantern is a little bit of a controversial thing with me right now because I'm still enjoying it. I'm enjoying what's happening, but it's starting to get a little overwhelming with all the different stories going on at the same time. And it used to be that those stories were in the side books. Now they're starting to link into the Green Lantern proper, and it's just becoming so much happening. Like in Green Lantern Corps, we had 2 stories going on at the same time. In this one, we've got 2 stories going on at the same time, maybe even 3. But I will say this, the story that the Green Lantern goes on, the trip that Green Lantern goes on here to the prison, I thought was really good because it was a one and done story. Granted, it was only about 10 pages, but it had a beginning, middle, and end. We've got him going to the prison to figure out why everyone's so happy, and they explore the prison and they figure it out. They find out who's behind it all. And then of course the, what do you call it? The MacGuffin that is making everyone happy, this axolotl that is stuck in the happy spectrum or something like that. It's bleeding out onto everyone else. So they think they can use it to stop the sad lantern. So, it was a nice beginning, middle, and end that overall can contribute to the greater plot, which is really cool. And then you've got the Kyle Rayner out in space fighting stuff. And then this, I don't know who this character is. So unfortunately, this last page did not strike with me. So, enjoyable read, good read, but man, it's starting to become a little bit like homework, like watching Marvel shows. Justice League, I love this one. This one I describe as if what is going on was a comic book, because you kind of know where everything's wrapped up, but now everything it's just pretty fighting, which I understand is not for everyone. But you got Gorilla God with his Omega beams, I guess. What do they call them? The life equation beams? I don't know. But you've got all these different Justice Leaguers from different eras fighting each other, fighting the Legion of Doom. And it's just, just sit back. Don't worry about what's happening here. You got like 3 different Batmans in here fighting. And it's just gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I am just loving this art. I don't read for the art. I read for the story. But the art does a really good job here. I'm still not exactly sure what's happening with Airwave, but it was still a joy to read. Just don't expect, very deep plot, so to speak. But the implication is now that we've got multiple Legion of Superheroes in the timeline. So I think that's interesting. Could go to an interesting place. I don't know if they're going to keep it in JLU or if they're going to continue splitting it. Not sure. Absolute Martian Manhunter. I got both the absolute books that came out last week. This one is a joy. There's not much to talk about because, it's very almost existential. You've got him figuring out why people are hurting each other in town and the White Martian. And then I really enjoyed this part actually, where his wife finally confronts him about not being present. And he has that realization that he has to do something, but how can you, I think the good question is, how can you be present when you've got this psychic entity inside you that's also ever present in the city? I think that's a really tough thing. And so, she's like, I don't know who you are anymore. And it's really because he is someone different, because he has the Martian Manhunter inside of him. So I thought that was an interesting little plot there. So good job. I'm going to give kudos where kudos are due. And then you've also got the city just tearing itself apart because of the White Martian. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Maybe I have low expectations and that's why I enjoy it. But I am super enjoying this. It's like not even a sci-fi. It's like I guess it is. It's like a sci-fi detective noir kind of thing. Very interesting. Very interesting. I'm really enjoying that one. Also really enjoying Absolute Wonder Woman. I know this issue didn't hit for as many people, but again, I'm loving Sherman's art on this. I am one of the very few. I like the way he draws a young Diana there. Her and Dr. Poison getting into different shenanigans together were interesting. This is a longer art too, and I think they're doing a good job. You got her taking care of the plants there. But I love it when they're just talking like normal people. And this is what I enjoy. They're talking like normal people, and Diana is just sitting here casting blood spells, like it's nothing. And they're like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm just creating a portal to a place that you're not supposed to get into." And I like that line. I make my own doors. Some people might not like that. Whatever. I like it. And then you get a little flashback to young Diana. So I think this is a really good pace. And she finds a Minotaur, and it's being attacked. And she doesn't know who's good and who's bad. So she has to figure that out. She uses her lasso to figure it out. And then she helps the Minotaur. But now they're stuck in this maze. And my one critique is that she seems to go too quickly from regular Diana to battle Diana. So she comes in to the portal here, into the maze, and she's just regular Diana. She's just regular Diana. Okay. And then the next panel, she's warrior Diana. Like, I don't know. That was a little too jarring for me. But overall, I'm really enjoying Absolute Wonder Woman. Not my favorite Absolute book, but definitely my second favorite. So I'm enjoying what's happening there. Kudos to them. All right. And then my top 3 books of the week, all indies. And it just happens to be the only 3 indies I read. Huck, Big Bad World, continuing to showcase just a huge amount of heart, and also developing the world of, you got the superpowered assassin working for his uncle, but he only takes on jobs that are for bad people. And now he's getting blackmailed into trying to hurt a good person. And Huck finds the assassin. They go against each other. Maybe Huck actually has his ticket punched. And then his mom shows up. Just a really good art, interesting story. We got another good cliffhanger here. So I'm super enjoying Huck. It's definitely a break from Miller's usual depressing writing, but that's probably why I enjoyed it so much. And then we've got Ghost Machine, Rockefellers. I know this is probably the people's least favorite Ghost Machines, and I can definitely see that. For me, it's right in the middle of the road, but I'm enjoying the family dynamic. And this one is very sitcom-y, in that you get this rogue alien like face hugger, and the hijinks continue. So you've got the face hugger gets on the neighbor, and then his wife comes home and he's trying to get the face hugger off the neighbor, and he's like, "Oh, hey honey, how are you? How's it going? Everything's fine here." And then the son comes home, and then he sees them all trying to get the face hugger off, and they're like, "Hey honey, how are you? I'm glad to have you here." And then the daughter wakes up, and then she comes up, and they're like, "Oh, hey honey, how are you?" They're just trying to get the face hugger off the thing, and the dog's trying to help. That was so fun. That was so adorable and so much fun. And then you finally find out, like, the father hasn't told the family the full picture of what's happening. My understanding is this ends the arc at issue 6, and it is a little less of a, You know, we don't have as many answers, which can drive you mad, but I'm still enjoying the journey enough that not having the answers at this point is not bothering me that much. So I really enjoyed that. But my favorite read of the week is Hyde Street. And by the way, the Ghost Machine books I always love because they have this cardboard, real thick stock for the cover. But the art here is just gorgeous. And I love, if you grew up with sugary cereal, they do a play on that. And this art here, I mean, there's just so much to absorb. And it says, you know, Pranky, they always say you should start with a nutritious breakfast, but Pranky doesn't. He's just eating the cereal. He hasn't touched any of the good stuff. So yeah, just every piece of art in here is just gorgeous. You can spend a long time just reading this and enjoying it. And then you find out the man he sees is maybe not the man he describes himself to be. The matinee monster shows up. This is a gorgeous panel here. Basically, he gets like the sugar cereal mascots, turns them into real monsters that have to go up against the matinee monster. I mean, just so much fun. And it is a horror book, but this one isn't horror. This one is not like real horror. Yeah, it was so good. And now Pranky's in trouble, and he's gonna have to go to Mr. X-Ray for help in the next issue. So, man, this was my favorite read. Lots. I mean, you have no idea what's going on page to page, and that just made it so enjoyable. So, Ghost Machine wins for the week. Indies Image well, no, Huck is Dark Horse wins for the week. What was your favorite reads this week? Did you read any of these books? Are there any books that came out last week that I should have read? Let me know in the comments below. We're here to talk comics and have some discussions because that time unfortunately has passed. So let's find each other online and share what we love in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe if you like this video and want to see more comic book videos. I'm trying to do comic videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I will see you guys in the next video. Adios.